Hey guys, welcome to our channel. So, before I get started here, and I've got a lot to cover, and it's an interesting thing you'll see in a minute, but our little troll hijacked our name, gotta say that, and he's making videos basically mocking the Mandela Effect community under our name. So, just so everybody knows that, and he calls himself Emmanuel Tajiro. I don't think that's his real name at all. Not at all. In fact, my fiance thinks he looks like a Billy. I don't know. I know some Camerons, and I think he looks like a Cameron, so we're compromising. We'll call him Billy Cameron. He looks like, well, one person, one thing to one, and another thing to another, so we'll identify you, Billy. So, yeah, we'll leave that at that. That's our troll's new name. He's Billy Cameron now. So he's got a channel and he's making fun of the Mandela Effect community under our name to re-emphasize. And that it's not us. He's not affiliated with us. He's just a little thieving troll. And now he's going to troll the Mandela Effect community under our name. Well, okay. That's fine. Go for it. Anybody with a clue will know it isn't us.
And they'll laugh at him
And
like we do.
and they'll laugh at him just like we do. So, for the real Mandela quantum effects, here is a real decode. And we got Beach Boys, California Girls, all right, and this was only a 0.9% variance. And you had kind changed to kinds, so kind would cancel out, and you got an S, and we brought an S down. And we brought that S down right here, all right. And then you had wish changed to wished, so you had an ED, and we brought the ED down because wish would cancel out and you're left with ED. So what we're working with is SED. That's it. 3 letters, that's all we got. What could it be? Let's find out. I went through this 3 times, guys, because it was short and I could. And it's going to be a monkey to post all the links, but we're going to do it anyway. So SED, the whole thing going forwards, guys, is SED International Holdings Incorporated on OTC markets. Stock market. Well, S by itself, we all know, is Sprint on the New York Stock Exchange. E alone is the mathematical constant. All right, I know I haven't posted a link on that in a while. We ran into it enough times with the stock market that I'll try to remember to post the link, guys. It's just something I remember because it's a pattern. ED stands for Consolidated Edison Incorporated on the New York Stock Exchange. All right. And if you pull the D out of the E out of the middle and just go SD, because a quantum computer can certainly do that. SD stands for Sandridge Energy Incorporated on the New York Stock Exchange. Again, I'll provide all these links. And that gets you through going forward on those 3 letters. But what about backward? If you take DES all the way through backwards, you get Wisdom Tree TR/US small cap dividends on the New York Stock Exchange, ARCA or something, and New York Stock, it's the New York Stock Exchange, all right. Maybe a different branch of it or something, but yes, it's a company on a stock market. DE, of course, we've had before, Deere and Company on the New York Stock Exchange. All right. ES, we're coming backwards. ES ends up being Eversource Energy on the New York Stock Exchange. And DS ends up being Drive Shaft Incorporated on the New York Stock Exchange, and that's pulling the E out of the middle. And of course, you got the mathematical constant right there, and that got you through forward and backwards, and you're in the stock market. But could have they hit genetics? I mean, we've been seeing that a lot, right? Let's find out. SED ends up being congenitia. No. SED congenita. SED congenita. Spondylopiphyseal dysplasia, congenital type. It's an inherited disorder of bone growth that affects the spine and ends of long bones in the arms and legs. So it's a genetic. It's caused, I believe, is that the one that was caused? No. Yes, it's caused by a genetic mutation, guys. I read that already. I can't find it, but I'll post the link and you can read all about it. It's caused by a genetic mutation. So then you back up and you're still going through forwards, guys. You got S by itself, and it stands for protein S. And protein S, let me just read this as it is. The PROS1 gene provides instructions for making a protein called protein S that is important for controlling blood clotting. By itself, protein S cannot carry out the chemical reactions necessary for regulating the formation of blood clots. Instead, protein S attaches to certain enzymes. So, protein S, guys, and it's made by a protein coding gene, and now we're looking at PROS1 gene. So that's interesting. All genetics, guys. Let's see, is there more genetics? Let's find out. SE stands for RASE genetics, and it's a genetic like lab. All right, they got a little thing here, and you can read about them. Then you end up with ED by itself, which ends up being Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is a group of disorders that affect connective tissues supporting the skin, bone, blood vessels, and many other organs and tissues. Defects in connective tissues cause the signs and symptoms of these conditions, which range from mildly loose joints to life-threatening complications. So I'll let you read all about that. Then, oh yes, almost forgot. No, I didn't. That got you through going forwards, guys. All right. I apologize. That gets you through genetics going forwards, and now we're going to start. Now we're going to come backwards and see if we can decode genes there too. And you start with the whole thing backwards, just like we started with the whole thing forward. We'll start with the whole thing backward, and you get DES, which ends up being DES gene, which is the DES gene provides instructions for making a protein called desmin. And desmin is found in heart, cardiac muscle, and muscles used for, and then I got to go into that. I was having a hard time getting in with my internet earlier. We'll see if that cleared up. It did. So I'll provide this link, and you guys can read all about the DES gene. It's a protein coding gene. We've had those before, right? Um, then you've got DE by itself, which stands for DE novo, which is also known as genetic changes or genetic mutations. What is a gene mutation, and how do mutations occur? And uh, where? Yeah, there it is. I just saw it. When a DE novo mutation. Yep. Down a few paragraphs, it'll tell you a DE novo mutation. So it's a certain genetic mutation that they call the DE novo. So you got that, and somewhere E. Okay. So moving on from that, you got E. Uh, oh, E. ES, because we're coming backwards. I'm sorry, guys. I lost my place. ES then is what you're left with, and that actually stands for embryonic stem cells specific enhancers. So, ES enhancer sites that lose red. So yeah, this is all about ES is stem cell. It's a label that they've given to certain stem cells, um, and specific enhancers, all genetic, and that takes you through forwards and backwards genetics. But is there more? I decided to find out, guys, because there was only 3 letters. So what about chemicals? Because we see chemicals and genetics hand in hand, right? Let's find out. SED by itself stands for SED toxicity. Um, SED toxicity. And this talks about using green chemicals to replace hazardous materials in processes to reduce or eliminate the use of production of substances. Um, Not necessarily a bad thing, but it's definitely something they were calculating or using for a calculation. It's right here. And that is chemicals. So is that an isolated thing? Can we really go through it this way? Let's find out. SE stands for ceruleum. Yeah, selenium. Excuse me, selenium is Se on the periodic table of elements. It was discovered in 1817 by Johns Jacob Berzelius. The element named, or forget that it really doesn't matter. It's a semi-metal that can exist in 2 forms, a silvery metal or a red powder. Its uses. The biggest use of it is of selenium is an additive to glass. We've seen that before. Um, Selenium has both photovoltaic action, converts light to electricity, and photoconductive action, electrical resistance decreased with increased illumination. It is therefore useful in photocells, solar cells, and photocopiers. It can also convert AC electricity to DC electricity, so it is extensively used in rectifiers. Selenium is toxic to the scalp fungus that causes dandruff. And I found something else that seemed interesting about it, guys. Selenium is an essential trace element for some species, including humans. Our bodies contain about 14 milligrams, and every cell in the human body contains more than 1 million selenium atoms. Too little selenium can cause health problems, but too much is also dangerous. In excess, it is carcinogenic and teratogenic, disturbs the development of an embryo or fetus. So, anyway, selenium seems kind of, and that almost ties right back up with your genetics, right? E by itself actually stands for e-chemicals, which uh, e-chemicals is a B2B e-commerce platform that provides unknown material ID, chemical and product failure analysis, and reformulation. So take that for what it is. You can read all about it. D is deuterium, which we've seen before. And hydrogen, it's a stable isotope of hydrogen, and with hydrogen, it makes hydrogen deuterium, which is used for studying proteins, right? We've had that before. SD, then, going forward by itself, stands for SD chemicals. Private corporation based in San Diego is dedicated to providing high-quality medicinal chemistry services. So, yeah, SD Chemical Incorporated, they're a chemical company. All right. That's what you got. And then that got you through going forwards, all chemical. Now we're going to come backwards. DES stands for dithylistilbestrol. Dithylistilbestrol. And it is a chemical. It is a medicine. Synthetic form of the female hormone estrogen. It was prescribed to pregnant women between 1940 and 1971 to prevent miscarriages. There's a cancer risk who are exposed to people who are exposed before birth, so go figure. But anyway, this is also a chemical, synthetic chemical at that. Trying to get through this. DE stands for diatomaceous earth. And diatomaceous earth is a naturally occurring mineral derived from microscopic in size fossils remains of marine diatoms. It has a high absorption, low bulk density, and high brightness. And they use it. It's commercially processed in the United States. They use it for a variety of things, including storage of grain. So yeah, it's a chemical. It's a naturally occurring chemical, but a chemical nonetheless. And that leaves you to this is coming backwards still, and this is that leads you to ES, which ends up being Einsteinium on the periodic table of elements. I didn't even know this existed, but discovered in 1952 by Albert Gyroso and colleagues. I found it interesting. It's a radioactive metal, only a few milligrams of which are made each year. Einsteinium has no uses outside research, so they say. And it can be obtained in milligram quantities from the neutron bombardment of plutonium in a nuclear reactor, and that's how they get it. And that puts you through forwards and backwards chemical. So out of these three letters, we got all of this. We got the stock market, we got genetics, and we got chemical. Are we missing stuff? Yeah, probably. But I think we get the point. It keeps following that pattern. And if you asked us why Beach Boys, California Girls changed just a little bit to the tune of, I think, 0.9%, we will confidently tell you that somebody with a quantum computer was most likely calculating or manipulating the stock market and calculating or using for calculations genetics, proteins, and chemicals, which I don't know if I like that. It seems to be a pattern where you find genetics, you're finding chemicals. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Leaning towards not, but it is what it is, and that's what we found. So I'm gonna let this video go at that. Guys, there you have it. That's Beach Boys, California Girls. So thanks for now. Thanks for all your thumbs up, thumbs down. Thanks for all your comments, feedback, leads, subscriptions, and continued support. And thanks a lot for watching, guys. I might link up my previous video that I made because I thought it was an important one and it didn't take very many views. I know it's long, so is this one going to be, so this might not take a lot either. But for those of you who are following along, I hope you find it interesting. And we're continuing to get the pattern. So that's going to be it for now. I will get to the other things. Gordon, if you're watching this, we will get to that Neil Young song in the coming days. We're not done by any means. So that's going to be it, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for your subscriptions if I forgot to mention it. And for now, you guys have a great rest of your day.